This is a battle with swords, not some fistfight. As long as one of us is still breathing, then this fight's not over.
Hey everyone, this is Armored, and I want to show you an interesting war from region 6 to 9. So, on the one side, you have this Russian clan RUSI, and they have a few T6, I would say. And the reason that I am covering this war was that on one side, they made some very good play, like high level play, and on the other side, they made such a great blunder, like it was one of the funniest videos I would have spectated, like one of the funniest ways to swarm down the fourth. So right now you can see basically all alliances have captured the checkpoint 6, and on one side, like I said, we had the RUSI alliance, and on the other side we have the alliance PNKY Pinky alliance, maybe for the baby girls, right? And I'm also going to mention the reason why these guys are fighting. I will provide you with the details from the both sides. So let me tell you the perspective of PNKY. So these guys basically, right. So they state that the guys from RUSI, they are not allowing them to go inside the zone 3. And on the other hand, the alliance PNK, sorry, RUSI, they are blaming the region president that they are lying and they are trying to manipulate the things. So this is the reason that a lot of some of the whales they ported in to help out basically the metro holders. Here you can see region 246 president Krut Barnkastel. I do not know how to pronounce this name because it is very difficult. And basically the region owners or the metro president, it seems they are from Indonesia because I was going through their alliance board and most of the alliance translation was in Indonesian. And I think President 246, he's also from the same country, so probably they asked him for the help, and he's from the alliance DNTN. So they made a very interesting play. uh, he was holding the fort, and then he was also rallying using all his other squads to hunt down whoever was trying to reinforce this rally, because the trades were in the favor of Alliance RUS for the very specific reason that they had the numbers. They had more players inside the zone 3 as compared to PNKY, who had the limited amount of players. Although they had the limited amount of players, PNKY, but they had strong players on their side. And as compared to RUSI Alliance, who had a lot of players, but most of them were like T5 and T4s, and very few of them were T6. I think maybe two, maybe three. So a lot of damage was done to the Alliance RUSI, and therefore they cancelled their rally. And about at this time, like 50 minutes were left into the construction of this fort. So, what is the interesting play? Let me show you. So they started hunting down the bases of people, right? Who all were reinforcing. They started rallying them and swarming them down. So this was an interesting play. By doing this, they were ensuring that these guys were not able to like participate in the war as effectively as they can, because they would obviously have a full hospital, and they will face difficulty in reinforcing the fort, right? And here you can see a lot of rallies have been wasted by the Alliance RUSI, and they were unable to take down the fort. And Krut was there, and he was killing all these T4s and T5s, and he's quite strong. I do not need to mention, because T4 and T5, unless T5 is having a very good armament or vehicle upgrades, it is very difficult for a T5 to face them. Now, the interesting portion was that, sorry, the funny portion. Now, here you see this guy is trying to swarm down Castle, and he is having a might of 42 million. So, this was an interesting bit. And Krut was able to deal a lot of damage to the enemy. He was increasing his kill score by over 1 million every time he came out to fight. So a lot of damage was done by him. So the next portion I want to cover is that they made an interesting attack. Like they were first of all using the rally onto the base of Krut, and at the same time they were rallying the fort. So by doing this, they were splitting up his forces and forcing him to not deploy his squads in the battlefield, which were obviously like very hard for them to deal with. T4, they cannot fight a T6 no matter how strong a T4 is. Even if they have strong armaments, they will face extreme difficulty in matching up to a T6. So the troop differential or the stat differential of T4 troops to T6 troops is exponentially very big. The gap is too large. Now, this forced Krut to deploy his squads. So I consider this a very high IQ play considering the status of the match, right? If they had let Krut keep fighting in the battlefield, he would have caused a lot of damage onto them. And by riding his base, they had ultimately forced him to go on the back foot, and therefore he was unable to deploy his squads. So this was something that was done, like they had played their cards very well. So this was the interesting bit of piece that I wanted to show you. And they were quite close to actually finishing off the fort, but they were unable to cut off their reinforcements, and the reinforcements were constantly coming in. And as compared to PNKY, IUSI, most of their reinforcements were T4 and T5, and most of the reinforcements for PNKY they were T6 and T5 troops. So this was a big gap between both the teams. And next, I'm going to cover the most interesting bit of business that I have seen in a very long while. So you can see, let me give you a very small example. But first of all, I will show you what was actually happening so that you guys can get my idea. All right. Someone has finally deployed a granny in the battlefield. I must salute you. I must appreciate you, my brother. You are the first person, first whale I have seen who has the balls to deploy granny in the battlefield. So, Mr. Zin 9, a big appreciation and a round of applause for you, my brother. You are the man who gave balls to Granny. Oh, sorry, I mean you had the balls to deploy Granny in the battlefield. A very big clapping for you, my brother. So this really continued on for a while, and now this is the example that I wanted to show you guys. Have you ever seen ants going back to their hideout or whatever you want to say, their home? And just like that, all of them, like literal ants, they collected their sugar, and rather they were going to collect the sugar, but at the place where the sugar was fallen, there were other insects already present there who did not allow them to collect their sweet, their sugar, or whatever you want to call it, or the fallen food. So all of the guys from RUSI, they were trying to get this special food, special sweet, and PNKY is like the grasshopper who did not allow these poor little ants to get it. So this was one of the most funniest bit of business that I have seen in a very long while. And they kept on going, going back again, again and again, like idiots. On like another example comes to my mind. Have you read the story about a couple who were walking beside? I think it was a mule or maybe a horse or whatever. So people made fun of them. That what the fuck are you doing, bro? Why are you not riding your animal? So next day they started riding their animal, and everyone was making fun of them that they are riding the poor animal. So this is a very actually a very long story. I want to cut it short here. So just like these couple, these are the two couples that are fighting, and we as bystanders, I believe we should be enjoying these fights and enjoy the entertainment while it lasts. And hopefully, their hospitals will be full. So, whenever the metro opens, a lot of these fights in new regions they are occurring, and it reminds me of the time, my own time when metro fights happened. So, I thoroughly enjoyed them as well. Like even the story I told you of the guy of the couple that were riding a donkey, it was very short. Like told you only two portions, and if I tell you the complete story, I think most of you already know it. So what we all can do is we can be like the bystanders who are laughing at the couple. So let these guys fight, and we should enjoy this drama. But I must also appreciate that PNKY were really resilient. They did not allow RUSI to bully them out of the zone 3. And although it was a very valiant effort from RUSI, but they were unable to dislodge PNKY from this zone 3. So the reason they were so aggressive onto this fort was just because of one reason. Like the fort was already 95 to 98% complete, and they had to make sure that this fort did not complete. And the main reason behind not destroying this fort was that once they burned this fort down, they would have kicked them out of zone 3 because PNKY, as I showed earlier, they did not have a checkpoint 3 which they had captured. So getting inside again for them would have been a long and tedious task, very difficult road to get zone 3 checkpoint again and then get inside zone 3 and establish their forts and towers. So very like this fight was very much needed in case they had to stay inside the zone 3. So big defense from Krut. He led his troops quite efficiently. It was like a lion leading the sheeps, and on the other side you had a lot of lions, but their leader was a sheep. Like you need very good. Like they should have called some other whales from their friends as well, because this was an unbalanced fight between T6 and T5s. And although RUSA tried for a very very long while, they were unable to kick PNKY out of this zone 3, and later on PNKY was able to establish a lot of watchtowers inside this zone 3 as well. So this was one of the fights that was going on today, and everyone was enjoying watching this fight, and I thoroughly enjoyed watching this fight as well. So I see a lot of different hero combinations, Catherine, Mai, and then I can see Freddy is being used in the battlefield. Wow. And then I can see Mr. Russell inside the battlefield as well. Now, Russell, this is not zombie hunting, bro. Why are you joining the fight of big men? You should be fighting zombies, bro. So all these guys are using Jaden as well. So Jaden is another zombie hunter, and otherwise he's a very useless hero. Maybe he's good for free to play for a while, but other than that, I do not find him to be useful at all. So very valiant try from RUSI, and an exceptionally great defense from Alliance PNKY as well. So I think this will be it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching the fight, and I'm trying to work on improving my commentary. It is not that good, but I try to make sense of things, and I try to explain it in a light-hearted manner so that everyone can understand the wrong steps that are being taken by the players, and what are the good steps that are being taken by the players, and what you all should be learning from these fights. So this is it for today. Thank you for watching once again.